It's very important that we understand Genesis. The purpose and the function of Genesis is to bring about the covenant that the Most High established with our father Abraham. So dealing with Genesis, you have to understand four major people that you have to recognize, which is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Joseph. Very important. We talked about last week how the calling of our father Abraham came about. There's so many ways I can go in this here, but I want to be able not to give you so much information that you can't chew on.
Yeah.
Let's turn to Genesis chapter 17. The blood covenant. The blood covenant. Now, if you're familiar with what happened in Genesis chapter 16, the situation with Sarah and Abram, right? There's no name change yet. If you remember that it was Sarah's idea, but you also have to remember that it been 11 years has passed since the call of Abraham at age 75. The text tells us that Ishmael was born when our father Abraham was 86 years old. Okay? Very important. But despite the human effort to try to initiate the bring in the promise, the Most High didn't disqualify them for making that decision.
All right.
So when we look at Genesis chapter 17, the text tells us, read the first verse here. Watch it here, because I want you to understand that there are times that you and I try to help the Most High with his journey or doing in our life. But I want you to understand, despite our human effort, that does not notify the promise that the Most High made with you. Amen. So in Genesis chapter 17, verse 1 for me, please. Watch this here.
Genesis chapter 17, verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Jehovah appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Elohim. Walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Elohim talked with him, saying,
Okay, you stop right there. Now, this is what I want you to see here, okay? This is very important. The text tells us that Abram was 99 years old. Now, watch this here. This is very important. 99 years old. The situation with Ishmael was 13 years ago. So now here is the Most High waited 13 years. What happened between Abraham 86 and now 99? 13 years of silence. Nothing is spoken about this situation. And so as I look at the text, I'm saying, okay, they made a boo-boo, a decision, a fleshly decision. And so what it did, it prolonged their journey. And if you understand that the number 13 means to rebel. Now think about this. Abraham rebelled? Now watch this here. The text tells us that Abraham, in chapter 16, it said that Abraham had hearkened to Sarah's voice. Now, it wasn't Abraham's idea, but he hearkened to Sarah's voice. I like, oh, I heard that before. Where do you hear that from? Well, in the book of Genesis, when the Most High came to Adam and said, Adam, what did you do? And because you hearken to your wife's voice. I like, ooh. So as I examine this, because I'm married too. So I gotta understand that if y'all said something, it doesn't matter how emotional my wife be, doesn't matter what she say. I gotta be very careful if y'all said it, not to hearken into her voice, because it might prolong the walk, the journey. That's a powerful lesson right there. Because it was 13 years later when the Most High showed up in Abram's life. And as I looked at it, that Sarah, because women are very smart, and they want to help us. They really do. And that was Sarah's way of doing it, but it wasn't Yahweh. And there are times that our wives really want us to get the business off the ground. Get this thing going. But we have to be able, as strong man, say, honey, that's a good idea, but let's wait. And it takes, I'm telling you, it might be some, you know what I'm saying, some cold nights. But as I look into the text, now remember this here. Go to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah for a moment. Because I want us to look at this thing because the scripture tells us that the things that are written is written for our admonition or through our learning. So we ought to be able to learn from our father Abraham. But the Bible tells us in Isaiah 51 verse 1 says what? Because it tells us to look to somebody.
51 verse 1. Hearken to me, ye that follow after righteousness, ye that seek Jehovah. Look unto the rock whence ye are hewn, and to the hole of the pit whence ye are digged. Look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bare you. For I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him. For Jehovah shall comfort Zion. He will comfort all her waste places, and he will make her wilderness like Eden.
Now, notice what the text tells. It's telling that look to Abraham. I mean, the calling of Abraham came at 75. But look what the Most High is going to do through Abraham's life. So the text tells us that you are the children of Abraham. You are the seed of Abraham. You look. And so he called our father Abraham, right? The text says in a barren situation. Gave him a promise that his mind probably rationalized like this is impossible. How can this be? But the text wants us to know, look to Abraham and to Sarah. So young man, us men, we look to Abraham. Women is to look to Sarah. Amen. And being able to hang on to the promises of the Most High. It is very important that we understand that. But let's break down a few words before we move forward. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 17 because I want to bring out something here. That Abram was 99 years old when Jehovah appeared unto him. Bring out something here. Where you at? And notice what he says to him. As he appeared to him, not to downplay what he did 13 years ago. Ain't you glad? That he don't bring up our past. But he said, now the word said is amah, very powerful word. I said it is the same word that he said, let there be light. So he's speaking to Abram with authority, man to man. And he said to him in this text here, he said unto him, I am, right? I am El Shaddai, Elohim. Now this is a very powerful word here. I am El Shaddai. This is the first time the word is being used. I am El Shaddai means sufficient. Think about that. He's telling Abram, I am sufficient to meet your need. Because remember, Abram's need is a child. Yeah. See, we get so comfortable with knowing the meaning of the word, but not going through the experience and understanding that he said, I'm El Shaddai. I will meet your need. I will take care of you. Remember that this is the same God in Genesis 15 said to Abraham, I am your shield. See, that don't mean nothing unless you're on a battlefield. I want you to chew on this. Because Abram is 99, promise is not fulfilled yet, but the Most High is still working with the man. He didn't bring up the situation, why you hearken to your wife? Why you let her do this here? Why you do this? No, he didn't do that. It was the customary way, but it wasn't Yahweh. Because why? He had already spoken. Now watch this here. I am El Shaddai. He says here, walk. The word halakha, this is the word halakha. He means walk before me. The word before means present. Walk in my presence. and be thou tamim is the word tamim. Is the same word. This is a very powerful word here. I want to break out something here. Tamim is the same word that is used as an offering. That when a priest brought an offering or a person brought an offering, the offering had to be required. It had to be examined. You could not bring an offering that you knew that it had blemishes. You know what I'm saying? It had a disease. It had you know what I'm saying? An eye was out of it. You had to bring an offering that was fit. So when he tells Abraham, he said, listen, I want you to walk before me, halakha, and don't try to hide the mess that's in your life. Don't try to dress it up and you know you got blemishes in your life. You know you got spots in your life. So he said, walk before my presence and be tamim. Deal with the spots in your life. This is what the Most High said. But listen what Amos said. Go to Amos chapter 3. This is very important. Because we have to understand what walk is, what words mean. Halakha means to walk before me. And we on a journey. Everybody here is on a journey. Amos chapter 3. Are you there?
Verse 1.
No, it's just verse 3 because I ain't got that much time. Not today.
Chapter 3, verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed?
Just that simple question. So that means that Abraham can't just walk and do his own thing. So that means that he has to be agreeing what the Most High is saying. And guess what Abraham didn't have? He didn't have no Torah. He wasn't packing around no King James. He heard a word and he did. This is so incredible that you don't even have to have something written down. It was all Torah. And we think that we smart. Abraham, who passed it down to him? Shem. No, it was Shem. Passed it down and he walking before them. The Bible tells that Noah was perfect in his generation. How is that the same word? Because he kept Torah. This is powerful here. Chew on that. Tamim. Let's see how this word is used in a few places here. Let's go to Psalms 19. Look at the word tamim. And those who are writing notes, it's strong number 8549. So he tell our father Abraham, I am El Shaddai, self-sufficient. Why is that important? Because why? He's telling us so that we can know that some people think that Yah is not enough. I need something. He said, I am sufficient. I'm all that you need. And we got to know that as children. If not, we'll be running around from this religion to this God to this God. He said, listen, I'm all that you need. And this is what he's trying to establish. In Psalms 19, let's just read verse 7.
The law of Jehovah is perfect.
Is what?
Perfect.
The same word.
Converting the soul. The testimony of Jehovah is sure.
Now, what it says here, the Torah, that is the teaching. The teaching of Jehovah is tamim, it's clean. So because it is clean, without fault, it can take dirty people like you and I and clean us up. Huh? David asked the question. Let's go to Psalms. It's just scripture going through my mind. Psalms, let's do Psalms 119, verses 9 and 10. I'm going to just take what I got. I ain't going to be mad because we praise. We're praising the King. He's worthy to be praised. Huh?
Bit. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way?
This is the question that he's asking.
By taking heed thereto according to thy word.
How can a young man clean? How can I clean my way up? How can I get myself clean? By doing what?
Taking heed thereto according to thy word. With my whole heart
Mm.
have I sought thee.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me not wander from thy commandments.
Notice that word he said I have hid in my heart. Back. So it's the word. Once you get the word inside of you, I can walk. So when he's walking before y'all, he's walking according to his word. Why? Because there is a way that seemeth right to a man, but the end is destruction. That's why David says in Psalms 119, 105, thy word is what? A lamp to my feet and a light to my path. What's going to direct our way in this crooked world? His word. Why? Because we don't want to end up as the book of Judges, that because there was no authority, there was no king, everybody did what was right in their own. So how's your walk? Because you can't say you're walking with the Most High if you ain't agreeing with what his word says. How can two walk together unless they agree? That's the principle there. Because once people come in here and start walking with me, and that's going to be people say, Pastor, this is fuzz, I'm going. So all that they're saying that there's something that you did or said that I don't agree with. But I hear the prophet say, come, let us reason together. Huh? There's no excuse. But I'm just trying to break this thing out. How can we walk? Abraham, keep in mind, I am El Shaddai, self-sufficient one. For us as the children of Israel to be going down to Baal looking for something. Going to Gag or Asher looking for something. When how God say, I am self-sufficient. I own the cattle upon how many hills? 1,000. See, we don't know our Yah. We don't know our Yah. He said, call me to mind. We are the seed of Abraham. Am I right? He's the father of us all. That's why we got to start chewing on this stuff here. So how's our walk? Let's look at another one. I want to look at another one. Let's look at who's one to touch? Let's look at another I saw earlier. Let's probably touch on that one. Take my time because I want you to chew on this here. Let's go to Numbers, the book of Numbers, Bamidbar, in the wilderness. Chapter 28. We'll start at verse 1 through 3. Trying to get us to see how this word tamim is. It's a sacrifice word. So if tamim is a sacrifice word, then when Paul says in the Brit Hadashah of the New Testament, I urge you to present your body as a living and whole sacrifice. He used a term that only those who know Torah will understand, that I can't present myself as clean when I know I'm undefiled. Very important. So that means before I come to the king, I got to clean myself up. And how do I do that? By confession. Because you know we can't clean ourselves. By confession. Go ahead.
Chapter 28. And Jehovah spake unto Moshe, saying, command the children of Israel, and say unto them, my offering and my bread for my sacrifices made by fire, for a sweet savor unto me, shall ye observe to offer unto me in their due season. And thou shalt say unto them, this is the offering made by fire, which ye shall offer unto Jehovah, 2 lambs of the first year without spot, day by day, for a continual burnt offering. Now the word that they translated here, the first year, is without spot. So this offering, okay? And if you remember, we're not going to go there, but remember in the book of Malachi how we got in trouble? Because we was offering to Yah. Oh, somebody probably need to see this here. Let's go to the book of Malachi. Because there might be somebody that ain't never read that before. And we're going to start at verse 6. At chapter 1, verse 6. Now just think about this here, because you cannot as a priest, okay?
as a priest, I cannot allow you to bring an offering that's not suitable to the king.
Right.
If I do, that makes me a corrupt priest. Or blind, then I need to get out of the ministry. Go ahead.
What chapter?
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1, verse 6. Amen.
Amen.
A son honoreth his father, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is mine honor? And if I be a master, where is my fear? Says Jehovah of hosts unto you, O priest that despise my name. And ye say, wherein have we despised thy name? Ye offer polluted bread upon mine altar. And ye say, wherein have we polluted thee? And that ye say, the tables of the Lord is contemptible. And if ye offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? If ye offer the lame and sick, is it not evil? Offer it now to thy governor. Will he be pleased with thee? Or accept thy person? Says Jehovah of hosts. And now I pray you, beseech Elohim that he will be gracious unto us. This has been by your means. He will regard your persons, will he regard your persons? Says Jehovah of hosts. Who is there even among you that will shut the door for naught? Neither do ye kindle fire on my altar for naught. I have no pleasure in you, says Jehovah of hosts. Neither will I accept an offering at your hand.
All he's saying here, because this is 400 years silent before the Messiah comes on the scene, right? Now he's saying, y'all see what's going on. He said, I wish somebody had the courage just to get up and say, let's shut the place down. If we ain't gonna do right, let's just shut it down. It's like, listen, if we ain't gonna come in here and support one another and lift up y'all and do what we're supposed to do, let's just shut it down.
Right.
Let's just shut it down. That's what he's saying here. Some are grown. He said, listen, go offer that stuff to your government. Take that stuff to Herod and see what happens.
Okay.
Incredible. My messenger. The whole book of Malachi in a nutshell is dealing with the priest, not with the people. Will a man rob God? That's all they know.
Yeah.
That book is dealing with the priesthood is out of line, because if the priesthood is out of line, everybody else is out of line.
All right.
Now, as we go back to Genesis chapter 17, we're going to be dealing with the word, the blood covenant. So let's deal off into that, the blood covenant. And one word is going to continue to pop up over and over, and that is the word circumcision. So let's go to work here. Oh, Mike, I want you to read probably. Let's go down to read, from 1 to 9. Let's go.
And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, Jehovah appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Elohim, walk before me, and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and I will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Elohim talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be an Elohim unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan. For an everlasting possession, I will be their Elohim. Okay. And Elohim said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed.
That's good. Now, I'll show you how important that circumcision is. Let's turn to the book of Acts. Acts chapter 15. We know that circumcision is the sign of the covenant. Am I right? Circumcision is the sign of the covenant. This issue of circumcision is so important that it made its way to the New Testament as we know it. Let's look at Acts chapter 15, verse 1. Acts chapter 15, verse 1.
Amen.
Go ahead.
Amen.
And certain men which came down from Judea taught the brethren and said, except ye be circumcised after the manner of Moses, ye cannot be saved.
Now, notice the question here, because we're going to go to work from here. Here is this situation in the days of Shaul, Paul, the apostle. Circumcision is a sign of the covenant.
Okay.
So now, but they're saying here is that some of the brothers come in and begin to teach and say, hold up. Circumcision, if you're not circumcised according to Moses, you can't be saved. I want you to hear the question here, because this is going to come up. Read that again. I want you to hear this here. And certain men, go ahead,
which came down from Judea, taught the brethren, and said, except ye be circumcised after the manner of Moses, ye cannot be saved.
now that's the question. So now, how is the apostle them going to deal with this situation? Okay, very important, because why? They never had to deal with this here. So now their brothers teaching, and why? This is important, because we got so many doctrines in this Hebrew movement, it's ridiculous.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have to let scripture interpret itself. So if you run into some people,
Yes, sir.
let's see how the apostle deal with this question. Do you need to be circumcised to be saved? Well, let's see how they deal with it. Go ahead.
When therefore Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension and disputation with them, they determined that Paul and Barnabas and certain other of them should go up to Jerusalem unto the apostles and elders about this question. And being brought on their way by the church, they passed through Phoenicia and Samaria, declaring the conversion of the Gentiles. And they caused great joy unto all the brethren. And when they were come into Jerusalem, they were received of the church and of the apostles and elders. And they declared all the things that Elohim had done with them. But there rose up a certain of the sect of these Pharisees which believed, saying that it was needful to circumcise them and to command them to keep the law of Moses. And the apostles and the elders came together for to consider of this matter.
Now, this is the matter. Now, this is the apostles now. They know Torah way better than us, knowing Hebrew. And so they didn't know the answer to this situation.
Come on.
So now, if something rose up in the Hebrew culture and they fluent in Hebrew and they didn't know how to deal with the situation, then what y'all think is going to happen among us? We ain't no Hebrew scholars in here. So we have to be able to do like the apostles did as a community. Let's come together, open up the books.
Come on.
Let's see how we're going to deal with this
That's
issue.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's how we do it. We're a community.
Yes, sir.
So when an issue pops up, should women wear zigzags? Should women wear things around their head? Okay, let's see what the Torah says.
Amen.
Because there are things that are tradition.
Yes,
There's
sir.
nothing wrong with it. But then there are things that you try to make a command just a tradition.
Okay.
Amen.
If you want to light candles on the Shabbat, to bring in the Shabbat, the holiness of on Friday, you want to do that and eat a meal, that's fine. But don't make that a command.
Yeah.
See,
Okay.
I have saw that before. No. So we have to be very careful when certain brothers come in. We're all on a journey. We can even divide over, is it Yahweh, Yahweh, Jehovah, Yeshua, Yahushua? Well, we know it ain't Jesus.
Okay.
We know that Lord. I said, no. A mature people say, listen, we understand there are certain things in the vows and blah, 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 blah. But a mature people say, man, that ain't nothing to break bread over.
Come on. Peace.
Whatever.
Never.
You going to cause abomination? That y'all hate 6 things? Y'all hate but 7 is abomination? You want to divide over the name? It's all kind of teaching out there. If anybody, if you run across anything and you confused, you can ask me.
Okay.
I got enough books.
Amen.
But you can't come to me with a pre-mindset that you want me to agree with what you're thinking.
Amen.
Let's come reason together. Let's open up the books.
All right.
And notice that they're taking this thing to Jerusalem, dealing with it with the elders. So if you don't know alphabet, man, you can't dialogue like that. If you don't know hermeneutics, exegesis and eisegesis, I'm like, I'm not dealing with you like that.
All right, tell it.
You still wet. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Now watch this here. Let's see how they're gonna handle this situation. Now, I want to jump down to verse 13 for the second time. And after this, they had what?
And after this, they had held their peace. James answered, saying, Men and brethren, hearken unto me. Go back to 7. Okay. And when there had been much disputing, Peter rose up and said unto them, Men and brethren.
Now, hold on for a second. Much what? Not fighting. They weren't giving their own personal opinion. So if you don't know the scripture, then you can't dispute it.
That's right.
I told me and my wife, I'll tell you that we can talk about the word all day long, dispute over things from the word. All right. Once we leave the word and turn it to our own personal opinion, that's what we always end up arguing.
Yeah.
But as long as we stay in the word, ain't nobody wounded.
Amen.
Y'all know I ain't lying. Once you leave that word and start giving your own opinion, that's what wounds
Come
start.
on, come on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Men and brethren, ye know how that a good while ago God Elohim made choice among us, that the Gentiles by my mouth should hear the word of the gospel and believe. And Elohim, which know the hearts, bear them witness, giving them the Ruach, even as he did unto us. And he put no difference between us and them, purifying their hearts by faith. Now therefore, why tempt ye Elohim, and put a yoke upon the neck of the disciples, which neither our fathers nor we were able to bear? But we believe that through the grace of Jehovah Yeshua HaMashiach, we shall be saved even as they. Then all the multitude kept silence and gave audience to Barnabas and Paul, declaring that miracles and wonders Elohim had wrought among the Gentiles by them. And after they had held their peace, James answered, saying, Men and brethren, hearken unto me. Simon hath declared how Elohim at the first did visit the Gentiles to take them out of a people for his name. And to this the word of the prophets as it is written. After this I will return and will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down. And I will build again the ruins thereof, and I will set it up, that the residue of men might seek after Jehovah and all the Gentiles upon whom my name is called, says Jehovah, who doeth all these things. Known unto Elohim are all his works from the beginning of the world.
Now watch this here. Watch how you're going to conclude with this whole matter. Okay?
Wherefore my sentence is that we trouble them not them from among the Gentiles are turned to Elohim, but that we write unto them that they abstain from pollution of idols, from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood.
Why is that?
For Moses of old time hath in every city them that preached him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day.
All they saying, just give them this here. Now some would say that's the no call law. No, it's not. He just gave them Leviticus chapter 17. 17 and 18. Read it. So now he said, let them abstain from these certain things. Why? Because now don't put all this yoke on them. You can't eat this here. You can't do this here. You can't do this. No. Let them give these few things. And then why? Because when they come back every Shabbat, they're going to learn more and more and more.
Man.
That's why when people come through here, I learn it. Why? From them. Let people come in as the word begin to wash them.
Amen.
I used to tell my hey, Pam, just is all you know is Jesus. Just that's all you know. Don't butcher it. Because why? She came from a church that named Jesus Lord.
Yeah.
So that's all you know. Don't just come in just like you are. Because afterwards it's going to flow from your heart. Yeshua.
Hallelujah. Man.
Because it'll be a yoke that, and I'll talk because if you don't use the name Jesus or the name Yeshua, they're gonna get mad. Not in here,
Praise
not in
God.
here, you grow.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Very important we understand that we don't put yoke, the same thing that some of the brothers was doing now, to put yoke on people coming in and learning. They went from, buying 5 or 10 presents, now they down to 2 presents.
Okay.
That'll work out their salvation.
Amen. Yes, sir.
It's a hard thing this time of season that some of the brethren try to make people feel just like they're going to hell
Amen.
because you set free from that.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying, from Christmas, it's out of your system, but it's not out of everybody's system.
Amen.
And we have to be gentle with our brothers and sisters that's still dealing with the golden calf.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor.
Now, if you've been with me for 10 years, then I gotta call you out now.
Saying no excuse.
I had to question you. But y'all understand what I'm talking about?
Right.
It's time of the
Yes,
season.
sir.
Hidden agenda.
So what you going buy? I get that at work. I don't tell people that, man, I don't do that pagan stuff. So God bless you too, man. Same to you, Let people go. They'll see after a while, year after year, we have to be the light. Because wow, we was all in darkness.
Yes.
All in darkness. We gotta be the light.
Yes.
We gotta be the light.
Yes, sir.
So they said, listen, they're gonna learn more as they come through every Shabbat. Don't try to give people so much their first visit here.
Amen.
Don't do that. Let them grow.
Yes, sir.
I love to see people transform. Let them come up to me. My brother, the one that said, bro, I want some of them things too. Then he start learning about it.
Amen.
You ain't gotta know everything about it, but you just say, you know what? I just want to. You ain't required to fellowship with us if you ain't wearing these here. You gotta grow it. It's a hard issue. So we're gonna deal with it. It's very important. So now we see in Genesis chapter 17 that the sign of the covenant is what? Circumcision, right? And the child had to be circumcised on what day?
Amen.
Now you know that if I take you to the New Testament, you'll see that Yeshua was circumcised on the 8th day. So what that means? He was keeping Torah.
Amen.
Keeping Torah. Let's go to Deuteronomy. I want to get this done. I'm gonna jump over a lot of stuff, but it's gonna make sense.
Amen.
Deuteronomy chapter 10. Deuteronomy chapter 10. Now watch this here. So we know that circumcision is a sign of the covenant. And we saw that it said to Abraham, if those who are bought with your money, not stolen, not kidnapped, those who are bought with your money, they all had to be circumcised. Now we already learned from Genesis chapter 14, how many men with the war with Abraham? 318. Oh, that was a lot of soul men that day. And Abraham, how old was he when he was circumcised? No! I jumped on a lot of stuff. 99. But the Most High had already confirmed the covenant with Abraham when he walked between the two shafts. Remember, he cut the animal and he walked through them, but Abraham was asleep. So it was a blood covenant. What Abraham said, well, listen, you have to understand the ancient world. To make a blood covenant is like, in our terms, it'll be an ally. That me and you in a covenant. Whoever attacked you, attacking me.
Amen.
Okay.
So what y'all said to Abraham, I'm gonna make a blood covenant. Whoever touches you touches me. So you come back later and say, he who touches Israel touch what? The apple of my eye.
Yeah.
So he's in a blood covenant. The blood covenant, you want to enter this blood covenant. Why? Because it was the blood that protected us when we was in Egypt.
Amen.
The same book in the book of Leviticus 17 said, I have given you the blood on the altar. It is the blood that makes atonement for you. Without the shedding of blood, there's no forgiveness of sin. So here's this blood covenant that the Most High is going to make with Abraham. Now watch this here. Abraham started his journey when he was 75 with Yah. He just had a friendship. He's the only man in the Bible called a friend of Yah.
Amen.
So that means he kept his commandments. You say, how you know? Well, Yeshua said, if you love me, you'll keep my. So Abraham is the only one called a friend of Yah. 75 years old, he's walking with Yah. Stumble, a little stumble here, but not much. 86 Ishmael, but it did set him back. Okay. But then we have this by the time he's 99 years old. Now, Yah said, I've been watching you walk. Listen, I know I said I'm your shield, but I'm going to protect not only you, but your seed after you.
Thank you.
Huh? Everybody that's entered this shield, the sign of this covenant, every covenant has a sign.
Yeah.
The sign that the Most High gave to all mankind in Noah's days was what? The rainbow. That's for everyone. But this sign here, the 8th day, is for the seed of Abraham. That's going to be protected. So the sign of the covenant is circumcision, right? Right?
Yeah.
So now let's look at Deuteronomy chapter 10. Let's pick it up in verse 12. Let's do this here.
And now, Israel, what doth Jehovah thy Elohim require of thee?
Now hold on. Listen what the question said. What does he require? Oh, just believe in Jesus. Just believe in Jesus. Just believe. No, he required things. See that? Listen, that's why people love Christianity, because it doesn't require nothing. It just requires showing up, put some money in there, and go on about your business. But that's not biblical. What does Jehovah require of Israel? Go ahead.
But to fear Jehovah thy Elohim.
I want you to circle this word and put them down. To fear Yarah. I told you the opposite. If you reverse that word around, is Arah, means lying. It's the same word. All you did is reverse it. So he said that my fear should be like you made a line in the back alley. When you see a lion eating a pet, you see a lion. Listen, that's what y'all said. That you treat me like a lion. If you're scared of a lion, then why are you acting like that?
Amen.
The fear of Jehovah is the beginning of wisdom. But fools despise wisdom. Go ahead. What does he require? To fear him, Yarah, and what else?
To walk in all his ways,
Halakah,
to love him,
Ahab,
and to serve Elohim, Jehovah thy Elohim, with all thy heart.
Now, some of your heart.
All thy heart.
Some of your heart.
All.
Just on the Shabbat.
All. And with all thy soul. Then to keep the commandments of Jehovah.
Go ahead.
And his statutes, which I commanded thee this day for thy good. Behold, the heaven and the heavens of heavens is Jehovah thy Elohim's. The earth also with all that therein is.
Go ahead.
Only Jehovah hath a delight in thy fathers to love them. And he chose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart.
What? Hold
your
up.
Heart.
Hold up. You hear that? Circumcise. Huh? And now he moved from the physical onto the spiritual. So the circumcise your heart. Now remember that the object of circumcision of a man's flesh has to be a sharp object. You got to know what you're doing. And so now we know that the word of Yah, according to Hebrews 4:12, that the word of Yah is quick. And it's sharper than what? Ooh, he can cut you. That's the purpose of the word of Yah, to circumcise our heart, to cut that stuff away. Read the verse again. Only.
Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart.
Now, my heart.
Your own heart. And be no more stiff-necked. For Jehovah your Elohim is Elohim of Elohims.
Okay, now notice this here. So now we move from the physical circumcision and now dealing with your heart. Why? Because I can be circumcised in the flesh, but not in the heart.
Amen.
Because why? I can take it to John chapter 8, how they were boasting in their circumcision. See, I'm circumcised. So y'all said, no, you can't boast between above the nation. Your circumcision of the flesh don't put you above the nation if your heart ain't right.
Come on, right.
Let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 4. Watch this here. Verse 4. Watch this here. Now, it's the Most High speaking to Israel.
Verse 4. Circumcise yourselves to Jehovah, and take away the foreskins of your heart, ye men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
Do you hear that? Circumcise yourself to Jehovah, and take away what? The foreskins of your heart. Think about the foreskin of a physical man being circumcised. That dead stuff hanging there, you have to circumcise. So y'all say, listen, this is what you need to do, Israel.
Amen.
And because they wouldn't listen, they went into captivity.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Let's go back to Deuteronomy. So our hearts are required to be circumcised. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So let's see what a circumcised heart look like. Chapter 30 of the book of Deuteronomy. Chapter 6. Verse 6. See, watch this here. If you begin to circumcise things in your life, y'all gonna help you.
Hallelujah.
Watch this here. He's gonna help you. Verse 6, for the sake of time. Let's go.
And Jehovah thy Elohim will circumcise thine heart,
Mm.
and the heart of thy seed, to love Jehovah thy Elohim with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest
If
live.
we do our part, if we do our part, you're like, man, I used to struggle and then I was, it's gone. The earth's gone. What happened? Because he see you walking with him. He see how you want to change. See, man can see in the natural that you struggling with this, but they don't see that you really want to change.
Yeah.
That was bad.
You think that man want to stand on that corner? You think that man really want to be an alcoholic? Hustling and all that kind of things? No, it's a heart issue.
And Jehovah thy Elohim will put all these curses upon thine enemies and them that hate thee, which persecute thee.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Let's go to my favorite boy, Joshua. Chapter 22. There's going to be challenge, but this is what Joshua is doing here. Challenging the people. Chapter 22, verse 5.
Take diligent heed to do the commandments and the Torah, which Moses, the servant of Elohim, of Jehovah, charged you, to love Jehovah your Elohim, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cleave unto him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul.
Is effort. There has to be effort. The Ruach give us the power. So it's to circumcise our own heart. But I already know how we are as people. Let's go back to chapter 17 of Genesis. Genesis chapter 17. Because I guarantee you, there was some that didn't want to be cut in the house of Abraham. I guarantee you. So now, let's pick it back up again, Mike, at verse 12. Genesis chapter 17, verse 12.
And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house or bought with the money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house, he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant.
No, he broke Moses' covenant.
His covenant.
So notice that the sign of the covenant wasn't given by Moses. This is what the Most High says. And we know what the number 8 means in Hebrew, means what? New beginning. The same thing that when Noah came out of the flood, how many people were saved? 8, new beginning. So this is a new beginning. So notice how the text said that, okay, you said, listen, I want to be in the building, but I don't want to be circumcised. I want to be in your family, Abraham, and get all the benefits, but you ain't cutting on me. I'm a grown man. The Most High said, the child who's uncircumcised, who flesh and foreskin, he has broken my covenant. He's cut off. He's cut off. He's cut off. We feeding people in our family that the Most High has cut off. They know enough to be a part of this covenant, but they decide that I don't want no part of this here. I just want the benefits. So I don't do that Shabbat stuff, but listen, I heard that y'all eat every Shabbat. Can you bring me something?
No.
Think about that. They want the benefits.
Yeah.
Nah, I need my Saturdays. You've been bringing them Shabbat anointed food for years. So we see that the uncircumcised person is cut off. It's going to be hard, guys, as we move forward, that the Most High is going to require you to cut people off.
Amen.
They know enough. We live in the information age.
Yeah.
They can verify all this stuff.
Yes, sir, man.
They can watch us on Facebook. Check us out. But no, they want the benefits.
Right.
Let's go to Leviticus chapter 19. Now, I don't know how Mike is going to react when you read this verse here. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 23.
And when ye shall come into the land,
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 23.
amen, everybody there?
Amen.
And when ye shall come into the land, and ye shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then ye shall count the fruit thereof as uncircumcised. 3 years shall it be uncircumcised unto you. It shall not be eaten of.
Well, the only thing I can say on those rings, we ain't in the land.
Hallelujah.
You've also been here longer than 3 years.
That's good too. So that when somebody in religion circle comes and says, "Now we've been here 9 years, we've been here long enough."
Yeah.
But in the 4th year, all the fruit thereof shall be holy to praise Jehovah withal.
Now, just think about that. How he's teaching us a physical and a natural. So just like we was chosen to cut this off, but he's using this here to trust him, while everything belongs to him.
Yes, sir.
So by us pruning and cutting, it just teaches us, man. Let's go. I'll time is flying. Jeremiah chapter 9. Verses 25 and 26. And listen to this here.
Behold, amen. Everybody there? That's your page, sir. The days come, says Jehovah, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised. Egypt and Judah and Edom and the children of Ammon and Moab, and all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in the wilderness, for all these nations are uncircumcised.
You hear that? Meaning that they're not in a covenant relationship or they have broken the covenant. So now you can see that these nations are cut off. Why? Because they're not in a covenant. So even put Judah in the same category. You are no different in Egypt and Judah and Edom, Esau, Judah. You're all uncircumcised. Why? Because you are breaking the covenant. All these nations know about the Torah, but they say we're going to do our own thing. We're going to create our own God, our own way. That's all religion is. Is that we know what that is one God. Believe me, the nations know that. But we decide we're going to worship God the way we want to do it, how it makes us feel comfortable. And that's what people do. That's what people do. Even, you can write this verse here down. First Samuel chapter 17, verses 23 through 26. Y'all remember the story when King David, well, not King David yet, but David and Goliath. What did he say to him? When he was, he said, who is this? What? Uncircumcised. What are you saying? You ain't got no covenant?
You don't have no covenant? Yeah. Praise
You
God.
ain't got no covenant? Why are we afraid of people that ain't got no covenant with the Most High?
Yeah.
Say that.
Thank you.
But you know why David wasn't scared? Because what he did to the lion,
Yeah.
what he did to the bear.
Yeah. Now I can swear it
Think
down.
about that.
Amen.
Stop running from your battles, it'll make you stronger.
Tell it.
Amen.
Stop running from your battles, it'll make you stronger.
That's right. Yeah, it is.
Government system is those who don't want to trust in Yah government.
Amen.
That's all it is. Now that we understand it. Let's go to back to Jeremiah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 6. Verse 10.
To whom shall I speak and give warning that they may hear?
That's the question.
Behold, their ear is uncircumcised, and they cannot hearken.
Cannot obey. That's the word Shema. Go ahead.
Behold, the word of Jehovah is unto them a reproach.
Meaning I heard that stuff before. There he go again.
They have no delight in it.
You see that? So y'all said, listen, I want to speak. But I can talk all day long. Why? Because their heart ain't right. Their heart ain't right. So the person whose heart is not right, I don't care if I do a 100-point PowerPoint. Their heart ain't right, they ain't gonna obey nothing that they just read.
Tell it.
Very important. So he's speaking to Judah them. They can't follow Torah. Their heart is not right. Let's go to Zechariah. Zechariah chapter 7. See, because when your heart is not right, then you're going to end up with a stony heart. It'll be best that you don't even come to Yah until your mind is made up.
Amen.
Because the same sun that melt the, the clay, it can harden too. Because you're hearing these things and you become so dull of hearing. You tell yourself, I heard that stuff before. So in Zechariah chapter 7, let's pick it up in verse 11 and 12.
But they refused to hearken and pulled away the shoulder and stopped their ears that they should not hear.
Think about that. Think about that. You talk to somebody, they give you the shoulder like that, leave me alone.
Yeah.
That's what y'all said. He's giving us an image, but they refuse to hearken, obey, and pull away. Get away from me, man. I don't want to do that stuff. Now, you already know as a father, if our son did some stuff like that, Huh? So y'all saying this how my children are doing me. I'm sending the prophets to warn them.
Come on.
But they think it's for everybody else. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Yeah, they made their hearts as an adamant
Oh,
stone,
man, that's hard.
lest they should hear the law and the word which Jehovah of hosts hath sent in his spirit by the former prophets.
Look at that. So it's warning. The book of Proverbs opened up and said, all day long I stretch all my arms to disobedience. He said, wisdom cry, how long would you simple love? Then at the end, he said, now, because you didn't hearken to me, when you call on me, I ain't going to answer.
Oh, wow.
And people wonder why y'all don't answer in prayer. You say, now, you want me to jump to your, but I've been telling you to stop that years. Let's go to Ezekiel. Chapter 36. See, dealing with a new heart, you can't go down to the doctor, can't do it for you. I don't care how much money you got. You can't have no surgery. No, this is a different kind of surgery. This surgery only comes from above. This surgery can only be done by the Ruach Kadesh, the Holy Spirit. Chapter 36, I said, right? 26 and 27.
A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them.
You see that? Huh? You see that? That's what he's going to do. Let's look at another one, a very familiar verse, Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31. So notice how the Ruach is going to come in and give us a new heart, a new transplant. Because if your heart is not right, you're not going to be able to walk this out.
Yes, sir.
So we see how the Most High said, I'm going to give you a new heart. I will put my spirit in you.
You said 51 or 31?
31.
Behold, the days come, says Jehovah, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, says Jehovah. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, says Jehovah, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, every man his brother, saying, Know Jehovah, for they shall all know me. From the least of them unto the greatest of them, says Jehovah. For I will forgive their iniquities, and I will remember their sin no more. Thus says Jehovah, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea, which when the waves thereof war, Jehovah of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, says Jehovah, then the seed of Israel shall also cease from being a nation before me forever. Thus says Jehovah, if heaven above can be measured and the foundations of the earth be searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all they have done, says Jehovah. Behold, the days come, says Jehovah, that the city shall be built to Jehovah from the tower of Hanel unto the gate of the corner. And the measuring line shall go forth over against it upon the hill Garab, and shall compass about Goath, and the whole valley of the dead bodies and of the ashes, and of all the fields of the brook of Kidron.
What he's going to do. Now let's go back to Genesis chapter 17, because I'm about to will land this plane. Yeah. So far, we should get from this chapter 17 that we know how old that our father Abraham was, that when he was circumcised, 99. We should know by now that Ishmael was born when he was 86, and Ishmael was circumcised when he was 13. So we know that the Egyptian, that's what they do at age 13. This is a little history lesson right there. So we know that the sign of the covenant is circumcision and to be circumcised on the 8th day. Am I right?
Yeah.
Notice how that's that the Most High continued to initiate this relationship with Abraham, building it, okay? Building it. But you have to understand that it was not only for Abraham, but for his seed and his seed after him. So when you see that Abraham and Isaac and Jacob is dealing with us as our fathers, that to remember that the Most High established a covenant with our fathers. So that when he spoke to Moses in the book of Exodus, he said that go tell them that I'm the God of their father, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the covenant. So we need to begin to call on the God of our father, Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. That's how it always has been and it always will be. So if you're the seed of Abraham, you need to keep that in mind and know the promises. So as we move forward, we'll see that verse 15. Mike, read verse 15 for me.
And Elohim said unto Abraham, as for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yeah, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And Abraham said unto Elohim, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And Elohim said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him.
Notice it. Oh, what a dialogue. That he strengthened our father Abraham in his journey. He's 99. This is a long journey that he's been walking with the Most High. El Young, the Most High God. At 75, he told me this here, year after year, year after year, year after year. Now it's 24 years to hang on to a promise. But that's why we have in the scripture that Yah is not a man that he should lie. Unmutable thing. He cannot lie. We may grow weary in our journey. But to strengthen us, how Abraham got strengthened is that Yah came to him. Why? He couldn't open up King James.
Right.
You see what I'm talking about? So the word of Yah came to him. So now we have the document right here that when our faith starts getting weary, get back in the book. Man does not live but by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds. Right? Mama, Yah, so this is where we get our courage from. Ain't promised us no Cadillac houses and all this stuff that the world needs. The Lord has told us what to seek by his son, the Mushiach. Seek first the kingdom. Very important. So when it says look to Abraham, strengthen. It's very important. Don't grow weary in your journey. If your heart is not circumcised, you're not in the covenant, you'll be cut out of the kingdom. How can two walk together unless they agree?
Right.
So when we look at the change, there was a change in Abraham and Sarah's name. It was one letter added to it. Anybody remember that? All the Most High did, it went from Sarah to Sarah, Sarah to Sarah. Added one letter to each of the name, the same letter. Yahweh. Why the hey? Because he's telling you, look,
Hey.
behold, pay attention. So that when we go to Isaiah and it said, look to Abraham, look, behold, look. He's going to do something that the world would say impossible. That's why I would say that bring any other religion in the planet. Have your God open up the Red Sea. Have your God cause a man to be 100 to bear a child. Have your God rain down manna. Have your God fed over 2 million people in the wilderness. Bring your God to the stand. Let's see what he has done. Let's see what he has done. We can testify about what our God has done. Have your God healed you. Have your God raised you from the dead. We got something to boast about.
Yes, we do.
Huh?
We do.
What they boasted in?
Our yards and
They
our
gonna have eyes, but they can't what?
See.
They got mouth, but they can what?
See.
Come on, tell us something, Israel. We gotta stand up. Huh?
Amen.
We gotta stand up and praise our Yah, boast in Him, our lifestyle. How can you be joyful when the economy comes? Because you heard about our God.
Yeah.
All right,
He
amen.
provided for us. They left us a witness right here.
All right.
These things are written for us.
Yes.
We got to get this inside our system. Listen, the Ruach has to become real to you.
Yeah.
Amen. Yes,
It has become real to us. He strengthened us. Our father Abraham, in closing, let's go on and land this thing here. Let's go to Romans. This ain't about you.
Amen.
It's about the El Young, the Most High God.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
He said, I'm going to leave some people behind. I know they disobedient. I'm going to punish them. I'm going to scatter them all over the world. But boy, I'm going to do a work in them
Hallelujah.
that if the world would have knew.
Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you.
If, chapter 4, you have to understand there are things that they use mice, right? And they train mice or to do certain things to see how a mice is going to act, right?
Mhm.
Well, y'all already did that. So, okay. Abram, I know you know the city is going to be in a land that's not their own for 400 years. It's okay. Let's now. I got to do a test run. I'm going to put them in Egypt, okay? And so that they could be afflicted. And so what it's doing is building up their immune system. So that when the next generation ends up in captivity, it's already like, why we can't kill baby kids? The more we kill them, the more they multiply. Well, let's do something. We need an abortion center. But they still multiply. We need to put some alcohol in the liquor stores. Why we can't kill these people? You know, any race, I mean, what any of that?
Reservation.
Oh, yeah, they are.
I'm telling you, look at us.
Yeah. Hey, almost like
The more is built in our system in Egypt, the more they afflict, the more we multiply.
Praise God.
So if that's the case, you say, well, afflict us then. Afflict us why? Because we multiply like that. It's in our system. We Abraham descended. So don't tell me you can't wait. When our father said, listen, son, I waited 25 years. Waited 20, and you can't wait. The reason you can't wait because you ain't got a promise. You're trying to live the American dream.
Yeah.
And we know that Yah promised our father Abraham. I'm going to read the verse. I'm going to land this one. Chapter 4.
Okay.
Watch it. We're talking about our father Abraham. Watch this here. I'm going to pick it up at verse 10. Chapter 4, verse 10. But it's so good. Let's start at chapter 4, verse 1. Then I'm going to jump over.
Thank you.
Okay. What shall we say? Chapter 4, verse 1. What shall we say then? That Abraham, our father, as pertaining to the flesh, has found. For if Abraham were justified by works, he has something to glory, right? Or to boast. But not before God. For what said the scripture? Abram believed Elohim, and it was counted unto him for what? Righteousness.
Yeah.
Now, not to him that worketh is the reward, not reckoned of grace, but of debt. But to him that worketh not, but believe on him that justified the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness. Now watch this here. First, jump down to verse 11. And he received the sign of what?
Circumcision.
Circumcision as a seal of righteousness of faith, which he had yet been uncircumcised, that he might be the father of all them that what? Believe, though they be not circumcised, that righteousness might be imputed unto them also. Verse 12. And the father of circumcision, hallelujah, to them who are not of the circumcision only, but who also walk in the steps of that faith of our father Abraham, which has been yet uncircumcised. He said, well, look at Abraham. Watch this here. It's beautiful right here. Then he said, verse 13, for the promise that he should be heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. Do you understand that? For if they were of the law, the heir of faith, it is void, and the promise thereof. Because the law worketh wrath, for there is no law, there is no transgression. Verse 16, therefore it is of faith, that it might be of grace, to the end the promise might be sure to all the seed, not to that only which is of the law, but to that which also is of the faith of Abraham, who again, who is the father of us all. Right? Watch this here. Oh, it's pretty good. As it is written, I have made thee a father of how many nations? But other nations reject him. They establish their own writing, their own Torah, right? Before whom he believed, even Elohim, who does what? He quickened the dead and does what? And called those things which be not as though they were.
Yeah.
He's speaking to them. Who against what? Who against what? Against hope. Listen how he's speaking to us. Look at Abraham, who against hope. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this situation, Pastor. I don't know how I'm going to get it. Who against hope? Have you been waiting 25 years for something? Who against hope believed in hope, that he might become the father of how many nations? Many nations. According to that which was spoken, so shall thy seed be. Now watch this here. And being not weak in faith. That's what someone said. Being weak in faith. Now, let me tell you what faith is, just in a simple form. It ain't magic. Faith is just here. Just say that faith. Now, they don't like to translate the word, but they should translate it like this. They should translate it as faithfulness, right? Faithfulness. Here is Mike running for office. I got faith in Mike, but I don't vote for him. Faithfulness is the proper term. If he's faithfulness, right? If I have faith in him, I'll support him. I speak about him. I go out and do work for him. Why? Because I believe in him. So y'all saying, listen, if you have faith, if you're faithful in who I am, then nobody got to tell you to talk about me. Nobody, listen, you know I've been so faithful to you that you can't help but just talk about it. Why? Because why? He's been faithful to you. So Abraham is just, you can't make this up. Just a situation that nobody can do it but y'all. And God has left this for a testimony for everybody. Is anybody in an unhopeless situation? He said, look to Abraham. Is anybody in a hopeless? I don't know how I'm going to get out of this hill. That's what the text says here. It says here that against hope, believed in hope, that he might become the father of many nations, according to that which was spoken, so that thou she be. 19. And being now weak in faith, right? He considered not his own body now dead. What he's saying, Abraham wasn't going around talking about, yeah, you know, if I wasn't so old. He wasn't going on, you know, Sarah wasn't so old. He wasn't putting himself down. He said he believed in hope. You said it.
Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah.
We don't forgot what y'all said to us.
Amen.
I didn't choose this. He chose me. And his grace is sufficient.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if he had to put everybody out and start over. That don't mean I'm bearing the ship. He said when he called Abraham, he called him alone.
Amen.
Being not weak in faith or faithfulness, he considered not his own body now dead when he was about 100 years old. Neither is the deadness of Sarah They weren't blaming each other.
No.
They looked at each other, baby. I'm broke. You broke. We broke. But we still got each other. We still got each other. We're going to encourage each other. What is our, what's quick that sandwich, baby?
Hallelujah. Right. Yeah.
That's how we do it. They encourage each other. Can you imagine? Hey, you know, hey, I know that I wouldn't be mad, hey, if you left me. Because I know, hey, I see that you really, I see how the men look at you. Can you imagine how hard it was? You don't think Sarah ever, you know, that's just a natural thing. Start blaming herself. So, because things ain't going right in our life, let's not start blaming one another.
Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
We know the solution to our problem. We know who's our problem. Everybody here know doggone well I'm telling the truth. The white man is not our issue.
No, he's not.
It look hopeless for us, don't it? Look hopeless. But they have not read our book. If y'all be for us, who can be against us?
Yeah.
In closing, he said that he didn't even blame the barrenness of Sarah's womb. Verse 20, he staggered not at the promises of Elohim through unbelief, but was strong in faithfulness, giving glory to Elohim. Why is that, Pastor? He was, listen, man, Scripture said, and being fully persuaded that he was what, that he was, that what he has promised, he was able to perform.
Hallelujah.
See, y'all need to understand that the Most High said He's gonna turn our captivity before our face. You have to understand that you be worried about your reputation. Y'all say my reputation is on the line. You need to understand that it ain't about us getting things in this world. It's about us walking faithfulness before our Elohim. You need to understand, Israel. We need to understand that He's coming. That He's gathering His people. He's gathering His people. So you need to line up. If this is what God's called us to do, our heart has to be circumcised.
Right?
I'm cut from distrusting our brothers, not being faithful to one another, all the things that we know.
Yeah.
We need to challenge ourselves.
True.
And this is what the Most High is teaching us. And because Abraham chose to obey Yah, one man became a nation. Don't tell me what one person can do, walking in obedience.
Amen.
So if the Most High has called us to restore the body of the Messiah as a community, we need to work towards this here.
Amen.
As we move forward in 2020, adding on to the building, doing what God is giving us ideas. I'm telling you.
Amen.
I know it looks like, oh, it's just us. All right. You ain't read the book. You ain't read the book. See, that's a promise right there. The promise said there's a famine coming. If you believe there's a famine coming, we don't listen. You don't wait till the storm comes, start putting up windows and all that kind of stuff to get water.
Right.
I can tell a person what they believe based on their action, what they're doing. Bottom line. So if you're in a blood covenant with the Most High, you have His